Hello everyone, my name is James Nevadis, and I'd like to introduce you to the technology integration matrix that we've adopted here at San Marcos Consolidated ISD. The technology integration matrix, or the TIM, is a model that provides a common language for integrating technology into SMCISD classroom settings. So it's comprised of 5 attributes of meaningful learning environments that you can see on the y-axis, crossed by 5 levels of technology integration that you see along the x-axis. So the TIM specifically focuses on pedagogy and pedagogical approach used to integrate technology into the classroom. This is not prescriptive, and it's not specific to hardware or software or lessons. To start with, let's take a look at those 5 levels of integration. So the levels are entry, adoption, adaptation, infusion, and transformation. These 5 levels represent a continuum of technology use. So now as we move toward the right on the TIM, we see some differences in the way that technology is used. So have some examples on things that we can focus on. In general, as we move toward the right, we see greater student ownership in learning. We expect an entry-level lesson to be teacher-focused and teacher-driven, while a transformation level lesson is much more likely to be student-centered, with students making meaningful and informed decisions, and a lot of times, hopefully, strategic choices about the way technology is used. Another difference involves a shift in the focus in a typical lesson from procedural understandings to conceptual understandings. This can also be viewed as a shift toward higher order thinking skills. We also see general differences in the way technology tools are used. An entry-level lesson is a lot more likely to involve simple, conventional use of technology tools, things that we've seen every day, like a projector or a document camera, and regardless of which tools those are. But as we move toward the transformation level, we are much more likely to see innovative or complex uses of technology integration. Finally, the instructional focus shifts away from the tools and more toward the content. This is exactly what we're hoping for. We want this approach to be device agnostic and to focus more on the instructional intent of the content. So in an entry-level lesson that involves tablet devices, let's say, we usually build in some time to teach the students, how to get on the device, how to operate the device, how to utilize the software that they're going to be working with, and things like that. Whereas in a transformation level lesson using, let's say, those same tablets, we'll not focus on the device at all or the software. The technology becomes transparent and the focus is more clearly on the content itself. That gives you a brief description of the levels of technology integration that we see at the top of the technology integration matrix. These are very similar to those used in the SAMR model, but with some modifications done at the upper end. So what the technology integration matrix does is it has 5 levels rather than 4 that you see in the SAMR model. But the key difference is that the TIM takes those levels and describes them across 5 attributes of meaningful learning environments, so that the focus is less about the device and more about the instructional intent, which is exactly what we want. Now we can take a brief look at those attributes. So those attributes are active, collaborative, constructive, authentic, and goal-directed learning and teaching. Now you can get more information about each of these characteristics and how each characteristic changes across the levels of technology integration from our SMCISD Internet. Those additional documents will detail each cell of the matrix on what typical teacher behavior looks like, what typical student behavior looks like, and the details of what the learning environment supports within each of those cells. That was a basic introduction to the technology integration matrix that we'll be utilizing to help steer classroom technology integration here at SMCISD. If you have any questions about the matrix or the tools that we're going to be utilizing, please feel free to reach out to me or reach out to the EdTech team. If you'd like to request a training, please enter an EdTech training request from our District Technology Help Desk site. Thank you so much for your time.